"This is the last time," she whispered, breath brushing my jaw. "It's always the last time," I said, pulling her closer. Her lips were warm. Her fingers threaded through my shirt collar like she was anchoring herself. I forgot where I was, CEO office. 104th floor. Security cameras off. Blinds red light on. Standard protocol for when we locked the door. For moments like these, she looked up. "Do you ever feel guilty?" "Constantly." I kissed her shoulder. "Still doesn't stop me." Sadie sighed, tugging her blouse back on, buttons trembling just like my hands. "We shouldn't be doing this." Your boss." "I know. And you're on the cover of Forbes." I laughed quietly, trying not to seem affected. "You say that like it's a negative. You're used to owning everything, Jack. Money, loyalty, power." Her voice dipped. "Even me?" "You're not something I can own," her look said, "not yet. But you've wanted to." She picked her heels off the floor casually. "The interns stare when I walk out of here, because you're hot, because they know." I smirked, but it faded fast. Because she was right. People stared. People whispered. Sadie paused at the door. "No one can know, Jack." "I know. I mean it. The board will torch me alive, not you, me." Her tone shifted. "You'll survive this." "You always do." "But I won't. You're not replaceable." "In bed or in the building?" She snapped. That stung. Mostly because I couldn't answer it fast enough, she walked out without another word. I stared at the door long after it shut. In the background, my phone buzzed. One new email, subject urgent, security inquiry. I opened it. Just one line. Footage reviewed. Potential policy breach. Immediate HR review requested. BF. My pulse stopped cold. Someone new. Office hours blurred. Phones rang. Money moved. I couldn't focus. Marcus from PR knocked. "We have a situation," he said flatly, walking in like fire trucks weren't already late. "What now?" He slid an iPad across the desk. A still photo froze on the screen, me, pushing Sadie up against the glass wall last Tuesday, captioned by someone sarcastic. "Behind closed blinds. What does true leadership look like?" My skin went ice cold. Where? Reddit, Twitter, it's been scraped everywhere. Who leaked this? We don't know. But the board, I didn't let him finish. I was already standing, grabbing my jacket. "Cancel my next meeting," I barked. Marcus nodded as I pushed past him. Too late. HR's chief. Leonard, waiting at the elevator. "Jack, closed-door board meeting. Now." We sat in silence before they spoke. 10 suits. Eyes like weapons. "There has been credible proof of an inappropriate relationship. Ms. Lane has worked under you for 4 years, correct? Do you deny what's in the footage?" I raised both hands. "No, I won't insult your intelligence." "Then you're aware this breaks nearly every clause regarding executive-employee relations?" "We weren't harassing each other. It was mutual. Power imbalance is harassment by default, Jack. Is the board calling for my resignation?" Williams leaned forward. "Donovan, we don't want to lose you. But this is very simple." He slid a document across the table. "End it. Publicly. Permanently. She leaves. You confirm the narrative. And if I don't, then kiss your billion-dollar company goodbye." Silence. The paper stared up at me like a dare. Sadie's job. Her reputation. Mine. The empire I built. The life I lived without anyone before her. The room smelled like cold leather and blood. "I'll think about it," I said. "You have 72 hours. Jack, your face is all over morning TV. I suggest you don't check." Twitter. Marcus tossed the tablet on my desk. I didn't pick it up already. Knew. Wasn't even 9 a.m. The leaked footage made the front page of every financial tabloid, gossip blog, and international business outlet. They looped it like a dirty rom-com trailer. Me, gripping Sadie's waist in my office, kissing her neck like I didn't have a damn trillion-dollar public company to maintain. Billionaire bad boy's office mistress? CO scandal trending #1. My phone buzzed again. CNN, NBC, Bloomberg. A blog titled, "Top CEOs Who Sleep with the Staff." I was #2, and Sadie? They plastered her LinkedIn photo across every headline. Sadie Lane, secretary or siren? I gritted my teeth. That headline burned worse than anything. She deserved better. PR wants to do a sit-down denial, Marcus said. I'll have a statement ready in an hour. There's nothing to deny. It happened. Marcus sighed. You've had flings before, he said. But this one, you actually cared. Didn't you? I didn't answer. Didn't need to. By noon, the fire was out of control. Investors called in panic. A minor shareholder threatened a lawsuit. HR demanded I file an internal relationship disclosure form, which of course would be too little too late now. LexCorp, our biggest merger partner, pulled the plug. We can't align ethically, they said. Funny, considering they fund half of Washington. The damage wasn't about the act, it was about perception. And in the corporate world, perception was currency. Despite 14 years of blood deals, miles flown, and nights without sleep, this one story rewrote my narrative. I wasn't a leader, I was a liability. Sadie hadn't spoken to me since the leak. I tried texting her. I'm sorry. Don't read the comments. Are you okay? Nothing. 3 gray checks. Not one reply. I walked past her desk at 2:16 p.m., knowing she wouldn't be there, but hoping. Empty. Even her pens were gone. Later that afternoon, Williams, my lead board member, came in. Sadie just handed in her resignation. Effective immediately. I froze mid-step. She didn't talk to me. She didn't have to. Your 72 hours just turned into 24. You said I had 3 days. She took the pressure off you. Now we expect your statement first thing tomorrow. He looked over my shoulder and lowered his voice. You built something immortal here, Jack. Don't lose it over a girl. I turned slowly. She's not a girl. She's the only person in this company who gave a damn about the man behind the suit. He didn't care. Clean this up now. That night, I went back to the office, alone. Sadie's scent was still faint in the air, vanilla and something soft. Her nameplate was gone, but I opened her drawer, photos of her son. Notes in perfect handwriting. A half-empty pack of gum. A pink post-it stuck to the bottom. He likes green tea after 8 p.m., even though he swears he doesn't. God. She noticed everything. I remembered her eyes the last time we kissed. Wide. Terrified. I should have said something then. I should have told her. I'll fight for you, but I hadn't. I turned on the news. There she was. Someone caught her in a parking lot hiding behind sunglasses. Ms. Lane, did you seduce your boss? Were you trying to influence policy? She said nothing, just held up her hand and got in her car. God. She looked small. Not the woman I'd held like a lifeline dozens of nights in a row. She once told me, if this all blows up, don't pretend I didn't matter. And here I was, pretending nothing mattered at all. Marcus came in around midnight. You gonna issue the statement? Yeah, you gonna deny it? No, I swallowed. I'm gonna own it. He nodded slowly, almost respectfully. You loved her? Yes, but I didn't say that out loud. Not to him. Not tonight. Instead, I sent the final draft to our legal team. From Jack Donovan to Board of Directors. Subject: Statement for public release. While I was aware of and responsible for the relationship in question, I accept full accountability. I never used my position to manipulate, harass, or absolve Ms. Lane of her responsibilities. She did not ask for special treatment, nor did she receive any. She was the most capable, intelligent, and disciplined employee I've ever had the privilege of working with. I deeply regret how this affected her life and legacy. It was my failure, not hers. This will not happen again. Jack Donovan hit send, and for the first time in days, I didn't feel powerful. I just felt alone. When I walked into the boardroom the next morning, no one looked me in the eye. Williams tapped the table. Your statement came through. I meant every word. Doesn't matter. Harrison this time. Damage is done. Press loved it. Market didn't. Our shares had dropped another 4% by sunrise. That's about $1.2 billion in losses over a coffee cup scandal. Correction. A woman I had no right to touch, but couldn't stay away from. We suggested Sadie resign. You made a mess trying to make her into a martyr. She was never the problem. I leaned forward. You're all cowards hiding behind numbers. You think being right saves you? Williams snapped. It doesn't. Reputation always wins. And yours can't afford another dent. So what? I asked. I already addressed it publicly. The story can't live on. And she's still out there. She's not speaking to reporters. Today, Harrison said. Tomorrow? Who knows? Williams folded his hands. Here's our final proposal. Izo pushed a thick folder across the table. Contractual. Clause won't allow her to work for any firm tied to Grayson Enterprises or subsidiaries. NDA. Financial compensation for silence. No further communication between either party, especially you. Wait, you want me to cut off all contact with her? You ended her job. Now end the rest. This protects both of you. And us. And if I don't sign it, you'll be forced to step down as CEO. Your name loses value. We sell off divisions. Fold you clean out. The air turned thick. My fingers gripped the folder until my knuckles turned white. That woman kept us running for 4 years, I said quietly. She took midnight calls. She rewrote every failed pitch before I even knew we were bombing them. She made this company more human than any of you stuffed suits could dream of. Williams just closed his briefcase. You have 24 hours. After that, you're just another scandal we lived through. Back in my office, I couldn't sit down. I watched the skyline like it could tell me what to do. Anger simmered under my skin. But the worst part? She wasn't even here. She wasn't beside me, wasn't typing from 2 feet away, wasn't leaving me morning notes or peppermint tea when my throat was fried. She was gone. I picked up my phone. Again. Sadie. We need to talk. I didn't protect you the way I should have. Please. Pick up. The bubble turned green. My voice cracked as I spoke out loud to nobody. I chose silence the moment you needed a voice. My palm itched to tear that contract apart, but I didn't, because if I stepped down, Sadie's name would get dragged again. It'd fuel the fire, and if I signed, she'd never hear from me again. At 2:13 a.m., still in the office, I walked over to her vacant desk. I sat in her chair, looked out the same window she used to glance through when she got overwhelmed. For 4 years, she never once sat at the table with the men who held everything, just outside it like that view, so close, but never hers. She trusted me, and I was about to put a signature on the thing that would end every word I never got to say. I stared at the pen. My company or her? It wasn't even a choice, it was a surrender. The pen didn't feel heavy until I picked it up. I stared at the document again. Every line of legal phrasing pretending to be neutral, but it wasn't. It was a funeral written in ink. The end of us, made official. 42 a.m. I signed all of it. No contact. No employment tie. No legal recourse. No future, just a neat binding agreement to forget the only woman who ever made my life feel anything besides branded and bulletproof. Marcus, watch me set the pen down. She's gonna find out you signed it. No. She'll hate you, Jack. I nodded. Already does. By 10 a.m., her name vanished from the official staff directory. By 11, 2 blogs declared me professionally reformed. The media switched focus to a TikTok scandal involving a rival CEO. And just like that, the world moved on. I didn't. That afternoon, I asked our security team for one thing, her exit footage. Just that, nothing else? Bryce hesitated. You sure? I nodded once. The USB felt heavier than it should. I waited until midnight to play it. The footage showed her walking across the marble lobby in a simple coat and heels. No boxes, no bags. She kept her head high, no hesitation. Just one hand on the revolving door, one glance back, not at the building, at the elevator behind her, mine. She looked up, eyes scanning the camera like she knew I'd eventually watch. Then she was gone. Out into New York rain. Out of Grayson. Corporation out of my world. Thought the worst part would be the goodbye, but there wasn't. When she left quiet like smoke, like if she made a noise, It would have shattered her. 3 days later, Marcus stepped in with a folder. Her final paycheck. Settled. NDA attached. All clean. I touched the envelope like it might bite me. No note. She didn't send anything, Jack. Of course not. That wasn't her style. She'd already said everything in the way she looked at me before she disappeared, like I was the one breaking. Not her. I tried to delete her number. It wouldn't go through. Tried to delete our message history. From the first playful text to the last voice memo she sent me the night before the news broke. I think I'm falling in love with you. Or maybe I already did. Please don't break me. I should have replied. I didn't. I was crafting a press strategy. 4 years together, and our story ended in silence. No public goodbye, no closure, just me, staring at a phone that no longer rang. Everyone else believed the storm had passed. They saw a victory, a scandal averted, a future preserved. But today, every win tasted like ash because today, I chose my kingdom and lost its only queen. Sir, your 9 a.m. is ready. I looked up. The new assistant, Amanda or something, I couldn't remember, stood there with polished heels and a clipboard I hadn't asked for. Sadie never needed. Clipboards. She remembered everything. 9 weeks. That's how long it had been. 53 days without her voice in the elevator, without her sticky notes on my desk, without her peppermint scent trailing. 5 steps ahead, I tried to act normal. Meetings, earnings calls, merger strategies, morning headlines, everything marched on, but I didn't. Jack, Marcus said one night at the bar, sliding me a scotch. You haven't been on the floor all week. People notice. I've been thinking. That's usually not your thing. I ignored the joke. I was staring at the TV behind the bar, some news anchor talking about corporate reform, about CEOs getting soft on ethics but hard on headlines. I wondered if Sadie saw it. I called her once, blocked number. Straight to voicemail, no intro. No automated, this inbox is full, just nothing. Gone, like she'd never existed. I asked legal if she'd cash the NDA settlement. They said yes, all of it. She didn't contest a single clause. She took the payout, signed the silence, and vanished into air. I tried contacting a reporter she used to work with back before all this. Off the record, have you heard from Sadie Lane? The woman on the phone sighed. She changed her number. Deleted socials, moved, said she needed peace. Can't blame her. No, I couldn't, but I hated it anyway. The whole peace thing sounded a lot like running, but maybe she wasn't the one running. Sometimes I'd sit at her old desk after, hours not in front of it, in her chair, spinning slowly, looking at the ceiling she used to stare at when I overloaded her plate. She never said no to anything. Not to overtime, not to 2 a.m. calls, not even to me, when I had no right to ask. Found a picture of us from the company retreat. 2 years ago, I was speaking to the crowd. She was in the background, clipboard in hand, smiling, eyes on no one but me. People thought that control was love. But it wasn't. What she gave me, that quiet loyalty, that was love. And I didn't touch it with the respect it deserved. I just consumed it. Until she vanished in the smoke. Mr. Donovan? Amanda stood in the doorway, hesitant. Yes? HR wants to confirm if you're approving the new mentorship program. Sadie's idea. She pitched it on the rooftop once, drinking wine out of paper coffee cups. I nodded. Yes, approve it, she smiled. I think it's brilliant. I forced a smile. Yes, so did she. Back in my office, I sat in the dark. I opened texts I never sent. You still drink green tea at night? And there's a seat open beside me in every meeting. Yours, if you want it. I'm sorry I made the thing we'd feel small when it was the only real thing I've ever known. Then I deleted them all. No more headlines. No rush of footsteps outside my office, but behind that silence, she was still everywhere, and I couldn't stop listening for her. 3 years. That's how long it had been since I last heard her voice. 3 years, 2 international expansions, 1 hostile takeover, 3 Forbes covers, and still nothing. Sadie Lane became a ghost who lived in my bones. But ghosts whisper, and hers screamed the moment Marcus slid a card across the bar. A legal summit wants you as keynote, he said. Boston. Next quarter. Big ethics crowd. Damage control in suits and heels. I sipped my bourbon. You're not selling it, he smirked. She's on the speaker list. I froze. Who? You heard me. The name was printed in italic serif Sadie Lane, lead counsel, Fair Justice Initiative, DC Division. The letters blurred. She went non-profit legal? I said quietly. Marcus nodded. Apparently she's good at it too. Some viral case about corrupt landlords. Small firm. Big noise. Of course she did. She never needed suits or skyscrapers to matter. She just needed people to listen. And finally they were. Should I cancel your appearance? I didn't answer. I found the video that night. A recording of her talking to a crowd of students. Black suit, no frills, red lipstick, voice calm, but strong. People always think silence is the end. But silence is just space. And sometimes space is what a person needs to find who they really were under all the noise. I sank back in my chair, breath stuck in my chest like a stone. She looked radiant, not because she was polished, but because she was free. I grabbed my phone, searched her. Instagram.deactivated, searched LinkedIn.private.Facebook. Nothing. Google? A profile pic on a nonprofit site. No contact button. No email. And one blurry photo of her laughing with a group of young interns. God, her smile. It was wider than I'd ever seen it when she was with me. That smile. Didn't belong to me anymore, and maybe it never did. Why her? Marcus once asked me after too many drinks. Why? Because she called me out without flinching. Because she made coffee feel intimate. Because she never needed favor, only fairness. Because she looked at the man, not the money, and I gave her silence. Permanent silence. Look at me. Jack, billionaire, independent, top of the goddamn world. But everything I touched felt colder these days. Every conference I walked into without her. Every deal that closed without her watching from the back of the room. There was no one to call after the win. No one to say, I told you you'd nail it. No one who really saw me beneath the headlines. 3 years. And the only thing that hadn't changed was the pit in my chest labeled her. The summit was in 40 days. She'd be there, live, breathing the same air. And maybe, if I was lucky, one glance, one look, would tell me if she still hated me, or missed me, or nothing at all. I didn't need forgiveness. I just needed a moment, a real one, to say everything. I should have screamed before I signed that goddamn paper. Boston. Four Seasons Ballroom. Business summit crowd, hedge fund vultures, think tank soft talkers, crisis PR pros in overpriced suits. Should have felt like home. It didn't. Not with her name on the itinerary. Sadie Lane. Integrity and law. Rebuilding trust through transparency. I laughed under my breath when I read it. Rebuilding trust? I dynamited it. I stood backstage pacing while some AI consultant droned on. Marcus checked his watch beside me. You good? No, he looked at me. Jack, are you going to freeze? No, I swallowed. But I might throw up. Then I heard her voice. Not real, just over the mic. Up next, Sadie Lane, Fair Justice, DC. The crowd clapped politely. I turned toward the large side screen, and she walked out. Hair pulled back in a bun. Strong red lip, black power suit, no jewelry. Eyes like tempered steel. She didn't look like the girl from my office anymore. She looked like a goddamn revolution. She stood at that podium like she owned it. And maybe she did. Trust isn't given. It's earned. And when it's broken in silence, that silence echoes. I flinched. Yeah. That one was for me, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe I still romanticized everything she ever said. After the standing ovation, I slipped off stage so she wouldn't see me early. Marcus muttered. Coward. She'll walk right past. She already did. 3 years ago. I waited outside the ballroom while the crowd scattered, and then she was there, walking down the hotel hallway, alone. Clipboard in hand, conference badge swinging from her lanyard. I stepped forward. Sadie. She slowed, stopped but didn't turn. When she finally looked at me, her eyes were still the same, sharp, clear, unforgiving. But calm now, like she'd already mourned me. Jack. I cleared my throat. Can we talk? Is this business? No. Then don't make this harder than it has to be. Oof, right between the ribs. Just 5 minutes, she exhaled. Why now? I stepped closer. Because watching you walk away once nearly killed me. You didn't watch anything, she said quietly. You turned away and signed. I couldn't argue. I missed you. You missed what I gave you. I blinked and she added, That's not the same thing. I wasn't strong enough to fight. No, she said. You were strong enough. You just didn't choose me. The hallway was quiet, except for the soft music echoing from the ballroom. Can we sit? Just a coffee? I flew here to speak. To share my truth. Not to reopen yours? I nodded. She turned and stopped. Her eyes softened. Just for a second, Jack. I looked up. Whatever you think you lost, I lost more. She tapped her conference ID twice, then walked away. I stood there, frozen, crushed, and oddly grateful. She saw me. She didn't walk faster, didn't scream, didn't crumble. She just walked past with dignity, like someone who survived loving a man who hadn't earned her. I waited outside the side exit after her panel ended. Rain had started, classic East Coast drama. No umbrella, no plan. When she stepped out, she didn't flinch at the sight of me. She just stared. You don't give up, do you? She said. Not anymore, she sighed. You've got 5 minutes. We ducked under a hotel awning. Awkward silence wasn't new for us, but this? This was heavier. Why didn't you call? She asked. I told myself I'd ruin your life if I did. And silence didn't? She snapped. That hurt, but I took it. I was afraid, I said. Of the board? She said. Or of what it would mean to fight for me. Both, she folded her arms. Do you have any idea what it felt like? Waking up to a press storm alone? You meanwhile feeding them sound bites while I'm trying to explain to my son why strangers are calling me names. I flinched. I didn't want that, but you let it happen. I thought walking away would protect you. No, Jack, she corrected. Walking away protected you. I looked down, ashamed. I watched that press conference, she admitted. You said, this will not happen again. That wasn't accountability. That was erasure. I was trying to convince them not to destroy everything I built. I wasn't trying to destroy it, she shouted. I built you up, Jack. I protected your blind spots, cleaned up your emotional messes, knew your moods better than you did. And the second I needed something, just once, you chose your title. I let the silence sit between us. I'm sorry, I finally said. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to hear me say it. She looked away, like even that burned too much. I don't know what you want out of this, she whispered. I want peace, not to rewrite history, just to stop letting it write me. Her eyes softened, just a little. You still dream about it? I asked. More than I want to. Me too. She let out a slow breath, then checked her phone. My car's here. I nodded. Good speech, by the way, she smiled faintly. Felt like talking to ghosts. You were. She stepped toward the street and stopped. You ruined the story you and I had, Jack. Yeah. But maybe you didn't ruin all of it. Then she left. We met again, not at a conference, not a hotel lobby, just a coffee shop in D.C., hers. Not mine. I let her pick everything, from the location to the table facing away from the door. She hated being watched. I remembered that. Too late. She stirred her tea in silence. I never knew how much noise you made until it was gone, I said. She smiled, just barely. You're still dramatic. I practiced for the summit stage. Sadie shook her head. Why are you really here, Jack? My life got bigger the day you left, I said. But it never got better. That's not love. That's loneliness, she replied. Maybe, but I think I confused the two for a long time. We both went quiet. The clink of her spoon against the ceramic mug filled the space. I watched your nonprofit case, I said. Even contributed. You donated anonymously? I didn't want to crowd the win. Her eyes met mine then, steady, measured. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Every day." "Do you regret choosing the company over me?" I hesitated. "No," I said. "I regret not being the man who could have protected both." She leaned back in her chair, arms crossed. "That's honest." "I didn't know what love was," I admitted. "Thought it was passion, power, proving something. What do you think it is now?" "Listening. Slowing down. Making space instead of filling silence." "Good answer," she whispered, then added, "Too late." "I know it is." "I've moved on," she said softly. "Are you happy?" "Getting there. That's enough for me." Her posture changed. Still guarded but not fully armored, she sighed and looked out the window. "Sometimes I wonder what it would have been like if we weren't us. Boss and assistant?" I asked. "Yeah, no secrets. No scandal. Just coffee and conversation. We can still have that." Sadie tilted her head. "You and me, as friends?" "If that's all you'll give," I said, "I'll take it." She smirked. "You'd really settle for friendship?" "No," I said quietly. "But I'd earn it." Silence again. But this time not stiff, solid, like maybe this could be the first brick in some better foundation, not built on stolen nights, but on truth. "I think," she said, finishing her tea, "you're finally someone I could trust." And somehow, that meant more than "I love you." I never called her again after DC, not because I didn't want to, because, for once, I meant what I said. Peace mattered more than possession. 6 months later, my office looked completely different. Bare walls, smaller team, less steel, more silence. My name was still on the building, but it wasn't on every headline, every scandal alert, or every nervous employee's lips. I made the company smaller on purpose, laid off the arrogance, scaled back the noise. Quiet was good, because in quiet, you feel who you really are. One day I got a letter, not a text, not an email, a small white envelope on my desk with no return name. I opened it slowly. Sadie's handwriting hit me like a memory. "Jack, I've thought about how to say this for months. Not because I'm angry anymore, just because I wanted the words to be mine. Thank you for letting me walk away with my dignity, and thank you again for showing me the man I believed you could become actually exists now. You were never the villain, just a man stuck in a system that taught him silence equals strength. You've changed more than I ever expected, and that means something. Good luck with the new firm. I heard your mentorship program is finally mandatory." Sadie P.S. My son made honor roll. "He still likes green tea." I laughed, then cried. "Right there, in the middle of a Tuesday," I wrote back. Didn't use a return stamp, just a single typed note. You were never just a chapter. You were the library. I never mailed it. Some things don't need to be sent, just felt. 1 year later, I saw her at a charity event. She wore blue and smiled like peace became her favorite outfit. She didn't approach me, but we locked eyes across the room, and she nodded. Not a wave, not an invitation, just acknowledgement. Like you were real. "I see you. We survived." Someone bumped me gently on their way to the bar. I turned to my assistant, new girl, young, brilliant, outspoken. She frowned. "Sir, everything okay?" I nodded, smiling. "Everything's finally okay." I stepped outside that night, into the cool air. No fanfare, no press, just a man who'd finally ended a story, without ripping it apart. It wasn't the ending I wanted, but it was the one I earned, and that was enough.